Shalom Aleichem. We are learning the Sicha Metzorah Aleph. Let's be honest, it's a very technical Sicha. It's a very diktuk Sicha. It's a hard Sicha to really connect to. And then at the end of the Sicha, the Rabbi really goes into a beautiful explanation of the Chassidus. So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on Ois Tes Miyena Shel Torah B'Pirish Rashi. Mevor b'Kabbalah. It's explained in Kabbalah, and the Rebbe refers to Eitz Chaim and Huva b'Likkutei Torah Veish Parshasenu in Likkutei Torah, the Sefer Likkutei Torah, page 48, Parshas Metzorah. The actual first words of Parshas Metzorah. It's a very short Maamar, actually, for Parshas Metzorah. It's literally just one double-sided page. Starts off saying Bevur be'etz chaim shesibas nagoyam hu machmas histalkus oir hachachma, that nagoyam come because the light of chachma has left, ki metzorah chashuv k'meis uksiv yamusu v'loi b'chachma, they die, and because there's no chachma. V'lahavin zektzas, in order to understand this a bit, tzarich lahavin in meichin the ima meichin av. You have to understand what it is meichin ima meichin av. Moichin the ima kamashikosov aim abanim smecha. Moichin the ima is, like the pasuk says, aim abanim smecha, that through his spoinanus, because banim is bina noile the abba v'simcha v'dishbeish, he developed the incredible abba and the fire. V'hu b'chinas hadatsu l'istalik v'kol batzmusay. And so the bina leads you to an incredible desire to cleave to Hashem. The more your head unpacks it to a bina. But there's a fire, there's a level that's higher than this love, and that is meichin the abba, that the light of Hashem, the infinite light, shines in chachma, and through that bittul comes into the world, until the bittul is so intense that there's no room for the person to have this emotional ratzui, desire to cleave to Hashem, because that is yesh mishayev, as Chassidus often said, when somebody loves, it means I love. So there's a sense of I which doesn't exist in Shuv. And that's why we bow in Shmoneh, as it says in various places. So let's learn in the Sicha based on that. Mevor Kabbalah explains in Kabbalah that the reason for nagoyam is because the light of Chachma is left. And Chassidus explains this extensively as it's an avodas ha'adam. Meichin the ima is the level of bina. His spine is begadlus habayde, and that encourages abba to want to leave your level. Meichin the abba, however, is Chachma shelamayl mebina. It's Chachma which comes by higher than bina. And as you see, the Rebbe is using almost writing in shorthand compared to the Maamar Likkutei Torah that expands a bit more. That leads to bittul. And that's expressed in the way of shuv. Not with this desire to leave one's body, but rather asking what Hashem wants and doing the bittul, and it's not about my feelings. So nagoyim comes by histalkus or chachma, when chachma leaves. When somebody's lacking the incredible shleimus habitul chachma, and through that there's a chisaron in amshachas haratzui, the kalois hanefesh b'shuv limud haTorah kiyum mitzvos. But when there's only a bonus mitzad meichin the ima, the ratzui can cause a yenika lechitzayin. Just like the Rebbe says, al derech mashem from vislavas from davening, alain, just from getting excited by davening, that could lead to yeshes. Oh, I davened beautifully. Mazel tov to me. Ve'al kain tikun hanagoyim lefuah. Somehow, how do you fix it? Koyim. The koyim brings chachma, and that's how you are mitaher than the goyim, as Chassidus explains. Let's learn it in Likkutei Torah. V'inei atikun shel hanagoyim. This is Ois Beis. How do you fix nagoyim for us, and how do you heal them? It's for huva l'kayin. You come to the kayin because the kayin is mamshich or abba. The kayin brings or abba. like it says on the pasuk about loischas hanedes. That's the job. When he lights the menorah, the job is to bring our abba. And through bringing the light of abba, so that penetrates the ima, and that is the level of shuv. And interestingly explains that's the idea of marriage between Yaakov and Leah and Rachel. Yaakov is the letters Yivka to penetrate, the Yisoid Abba kind of breaks through the Yisoid Ima, and that's how you elevate the two connections. The two ideas, the Yisoid Abba, the Ratzi and Shuv become one. Now, says the Rebbe, when it comes to cleaning the Torah by the Kohen, which is Ois Yud, which in the Maamar of Likkutei Torah is Ois Gimel, talks about V'huva l'Kohen v'yatsa Kohen, which is what he talks about over here. The difference V'huva and v'yatsa, etc., as the Rebbe explains. Now, these two details are expressed in V'nasan HaKohen Atznuch Oizen HaMitar Yemanis, which is Chachma, which comes in, that's supposed to penetrate the Shmi in the way of his Beinanus. And then the Rebbe talks about Lo Noida, the incredible level of Lo Noida, the difference between Lo Noida and Lo Yadaiti, a much higher level. And what does the Rebbe say? Rather, you need tikkun. And what's the tikkun? That you have to fix Bina Atzma. You can't just fix it by doing Chachma, right? You have to fix it in Bina. And interesting, in the words of Alter Rebbe in the top of Chaf Hey, the second column, you would have thought that the way to fix this issue is by simply working in Amshachas Moichin Abba Levad. So you have Shuv through Torah. Ach be'emes, but the truth is you cannot bring Moichin the Abba into the Midos if you don't first fix Moichin the Ima. Why? Because you have to do tshuva in the place where you caused the problem. And then you could bring Moichin the Abba. You first have to have the Datsu that comes from Ima. And then connect it to the bittul of Abba. If you have this incredible aspiration, right away run to Shuv. Yeah. Says the Rebbe, and that hints itself in the words Va'apoisim, the people who are able to interpret dreams. What does that mean? That there's two inyanim, the chitzonius, that seem different, Abba and Ima, and you bring them together and you show one. What's by us, what are we talking about? That you have to solve Moichin the Ima through dealing with Moichin Ima itself, and then bringing Moichin the Abba into it. So let's try to make this in simple oasis. What exactly does this mean? Abba, Ima. Remember, Abba is Bittul. Ima is Bina. Now there has to be this incredible Bina. That's what Chabad is finding us to meditate on Hashem. But ultimately, when I meditate, it becomes all about me. So I have to remember why I'm doing it. And living this paradox of Ratzi and Shuv, in other words, developing a passion and a connection to Hashem, but at the same time, never thinking it's about me, is one of the great paradoxes. Because if it's not about you, then why should you bichlal develop your mind? If it's about developing a mind, then how can you say it's not about me? And that paradox of developing your identity and at the same time having bittul is one of the incredible paradoxes that the Rebbe wants. And recording the Sicha on Chaf, actually Lamed Nissen, but it's during the worldwide Chavches Nissen Verbringen. It's that same paradox that Rebbe wants on Chavches Nissen, and that is, on the one hand, each and every one should stand on our own. On the other hand, it should be totally bittul. So come up with ideas and this and that, but remember where it comes from. So be your own person, stand up on your own 2 feet. At the same time, don't take yourself too seriously. And that paradox is incredibly difficult, but vital if we want to do that as well.